Knitworthy, sharing our love of the fiber arts from the heart of the Ozarks. Hello, and welcome to episode 19. Today is Wednesday, November 5th of 2014, and hello, we're so glad you're here.
We are.
My name is Brianne, also known as Being Brianne, on Ravelry and Instagram, and this is my gorgeous mother.
Hi, I'm Linda, also known as Stony Brook.
Yes.
You have glitter eyeliner on. I just
do.
noticed.
Today is a glitter eyeliner. I'm going to show you. Ready?
Beautiful.
Yes. Glittery.
What?
We need glitter today.
Is there a criteria for when glitter seems like the thing to do?
You know, whenever I'm having a little bit of a rough spell, it helps me feel like fancy and wonderful. Like, how bad can the world be if you're wearing glitter eyeliner?
It's got to be a party.
It's an awesome day if you've got glitter eyeliner on.
Do you wear glitter socks on those days too?
I have no glitter socks.
You don't have sparkle socks?
I don't.
You made me some, but you didn't make you any?
Pretty much.
Oh, well,
I need some.
hear Christmas coming.
Yay! Well, today is a beautiful day outside. We got some rain yesterday, and so yeah, now we're just, it's very pretty.
I'm ready for the weather to change, so it feels so good to have the beginning chilly.
Yeah, me too. There were some predictions that we would get snow sometime in October.
Oh, really?
But that never did happen.
It didn't, did it?
I was okay with that, though.
Farmer's Almanac says that we're supposed to have a even colder winter than last year.
Oh my goodness.
So I don't know if that means more snow.
Oh my goodness. You know, I love snow so long as I don't have to be in it and drive in it.
I do feel sorry for the people who have to service our electric lines and
I know.
Be out there in it.
Yeah.
That's just tough.
I'm very thankful for you people.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for doing those things for us because we like electricity.
We do. Electricity is fun.
It is.
So fun.
Such fun.
Such fun. And yes, it's a favorite quote from an English show we like to watch.
It's true.
So we adopt sayings from different shows that we enjoy. And so such fun has been in the running here for a while.
Also, bear with.
Yeah.
Bear with.
That's why you're looking at your phone. You do like this. Bear with.
Yes.
Bear with.
Exactly like that.
I wonder if people from England really say those things.
I
Or if
have-
it's just the English shows we watch.
I have no idea. I mean, they could be pawning all kinds of stuff on us, and we're like, that is so British.
That's so
and they're
British.
like, no, it's not.
Here we are feeling all Britishy, and when it's not really something British, they
That's
do.
right. Hello, Evan. Hi, you need to go downstairs now.
But Mom,
Yes?
I want to start my knitting.
You want to start your knitting? Can we start
I
your...
want to start my knitting now.
Now? Oh my goodness. Well, now is not a great time to start your knitting, but can we start your knitting after I'm done podcasting?
Okay.
Okay,
You
thanks.
can tell how far we are into this. We've just said hello, and he's already like, it's taking so long.
Yeah, it's been what, maybe 10, 15 minutes?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy, can you please take that downstairs? Evan Jonathan?
So
Go
I'll
take it
fill
downstairs.
time.
Yeah, Evan.
Wonder if there's any other sayings that we have that are English. I know from a chat that I had in the Tabitha's Heart group a long time ago, I learned that English people say things like whilst.
Yes.
Whilst we were knitting, this happened, And so I have, ever since then, probably at least 2 years, I have tried to use whilst as often as I can.
Is it whilst or is it whilst?
I think it's whilst.
Okay.
I say it like that, but don't tell me if I'm wrong. But it is quite fun to adopt things from a foreign... Hey, people from England, why don't you take y'all? Come on.
Oh, yeah. I think you should.
If I'm going to take whilst, you can take y'all.
Y'all. Totally. Well, shall we start talking about knitting? Thank you for filling in there, by the way. I appreciate that.
Welcome.
Yeah. So, Mom, what are you wearing?
Oh, let me check. I'm wearing the Just Knitting It scarf, which I did out of Purple Goddess yarn in the Pretty Japanese Ladies, Pretty Painted. I do this every time.
Uh-huh.
A Pretty Japanese Ladies colorway.
Beautiful.
And I tried adding the gray stripey in there, thinking that it would make it more kind of give it a visual interest, but like, really, does this need visual interest?
It really doesn't. It's such a beautiful colorway all on its own.
So really, that was kind of a waste of effort there, but
I wouldn't say it's a waste, but I would say that, that colorway didn't necessarily need any help.
no, and really, I just listened to the Knit Girls, and they were talking about, someone had put in a question about how do you choose your pattern and that kind of thing. And one of the things they talked about was looking at your yarn that's highly variegated. You don't want to pick something with a lot of patterning.
That's very true.
Because it really gets disguised in everything that's happening in the yarn. So you go for something a little simpler, maybe with a little something on the edge or whatever. So had I listened to that podcast first, I probably would have said no. But I really thought it would have more impact. And perhaps had I done like an uninterrupted stripe, it would have. But I was trying to tone down all the busyness, and I think I just added to it.
Well,
Lesson learned.
We know for next time.
Yes.
Yes.
But you know what? I love it, and I'm still wearing it.
Yes.
Darn it.
Okay.
And I, pardon my French.
Oh, my God.
Here I adopted a French saying.
Yeah. I love it. It's not French, no.
And I'm wearing my garnet beret.
Yes, which is so cute on you.
Thanks.
Yes.
I'm loving it.
Wonderful.
I want to make more, and I haven't really gotten the needles out to do it, so I want to make a gray one next.
You've been busy doing lots of other things.
Oh my word, yes. Busy, busy bee. And in fact, I forgot half the things I've been working on, but I figured, well, I'll show them next time.
There's always next time, isn't
Always
there?
a million.
Yeah.
Yes, a million things.
Isn't that funny? Well,
Are you wearing anything
I'm not
knitted?
wearing anything knitted, but I do.
What?
I'll save that. I'll save it.
You-
Okay.
You have a knitted item, but
I
it's
have a
not.
knitted item.
You're not wearing it, so it
I'm not-
doesn't
it
count.
Clashes.
Oh,
I don't want
okay.
to clash for you guys.
No.
No.
They will judge you for that.
Well, I
No,
know,
they
and I
won't.
want you guys to still be my friends. So, anyways, let's talk about gooseberries. That's our tasty weekly chit chat of fun things that have been going on.
Well, I think you were here for my gooseberry this week.
I was.
We got to have our first fire in the fireplace.
And it was so like comforting and cozy.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
And it's a great way to bring in a new season, is to have something that is reserved just for that season. And for me, it's a fireplace for fall.
Yeah. Definitely. We haven't had a fire in our fireplace downstairs yet, but I'm very much looking forward to it. Well, my gooseberry was that last week we had parent-teacher student conferences. In our school district, they have the student be a part of it. And so I had great conferences with my kids' teachers and getting to hear how much they love my kids. And, that's really what you want. You want your teacher to, especially when they're little, to think that they're amazing and wonderful and adorable and precious and,
Do you think it's possible that anybody doesn't get that when they go in? Is there some teacher that really tells the parent what they really think? Your child is obnoxious.
Oh, gosh, I hope not.
See, I think everybody gets the good report, don't they?
Well, yeah.
And then they just slide in the fact, maybe you could work on manners.
Yeah.
Or maybe you should work on your counting.
I'm thinking if there are some serious issues that your teacher has probably broached that subject with you already by that point.
Could be. Yeah,
Yeah.
that could be. Okay.
Very
you're
true.
probably right.
Well, I got to hear wonderful things, and it made me very happy and very proud of my kids. And so, yeah, that was my gooseberry for this week.
That's a good thing.
It was. So, Mom,
Yes.
what are you knitting on?
Well, as you know, I had a million things going on.
Yeah.
And so some people call it cast-on-itis. I don't know. I just felt that fall means that I have to start knitting everything, apparently.
Yeah.
Do you want to see who that was? Someone's calling Leanne.
I'm putting it on silent. Sorry, peoples.
So one of the things I wanted to do was I wanted to use the yarn that I had purchased when I was at Whirlwind Ranch.
Oh.
That's the one that Liz Mitchko, she runs the ranch and she's gotten into dyeing. Very creative person, and I loved her alpaca yarn. Feel how fabulous that feels. I know. Doesn't it feel great?
It is so fabulous.
Thank
Can you
you.
please, can I wear that?
Yes.
Thank you. I don't like alpaca.
I just think she's yet to meet the alpaca that she loves.
The alpaca of my dreams.
But I'm washing up a bunch of alpaca, and you're going to get to try some of it because I think you're going to love quite a few of these that I have. But that's another subject. This is the Pearl Soho Color Block Hand Warmers. And you say to yourself, where is the color blocking? And I say, I don't know. I didn't want to do color blocking. But I thought it was a great basic fingerless mitt pattern. Now, I have to show you something. Oh, first of all, look.
Oh.
This should be in Gilding the Lily, but I happened to catch a fat squirrel update with this beautiful fall fabric. Isn't that wonderful?
That
the paisley.
So pretty.
She does amazing things, but one of the things that I don't think I've ever had this, that I know of, ever had this happen before.
What?
But I started, well, part of the problem is, you might notice that these are a little bit different in width.
Yes, they are. Which is adjusting the striping.
It's adjusting the little stripey effect that's happening. So this was the first one I made, and I started out doing it as written. And I got to about, I don't know, even like right in here and go, you know what? This is really floppy. And I really should do this in a smaller size. So at the top I did with the smaller size needles that I had down here. And the second one I did completely the same.
Okay.
But I figured when they're on, I mean, really, I probably should go back and just
Those are a little bit baggy on you.
But it's supposed to be.
You have such slender wrists.
I thank you.
Yes.
But you know what? The pattern for the Pearl Soho Fingerless Mitts is baggy. That's what I loved about it. It's a slouchy, like slouchy hats, slouchy mitts.
Slouchy mitts.
But it is so lightweight and wonderful. You know, the other one, if that ends up being too tight, I'm going to be really frustrated. But I loved the basic construction. There's just like a keyhole opening with a tiny bit of ribbing around the thumb. And very open. And I thought, this is one, even on a chilly day in the house, I could easily work. If I have to wash my hands, do that. Don't even have to take them off.
That's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try them on.
Okay.
But I love them. It's just that the fabric looks so much better to me when it's done in the smaller size needle that the ribbing was done on. So I think it's like size 4 needles. Isn't that wonderful?
Oh, yeah.
It does feel good. Yeah, it matches your shirt a little bit,
Oh, it
doesn't
does.
it? Yeah. So anyway, this one, you know, if I can, I really shouldn't have started this, but I was going to try slipping it on to see. See, this is still a little bit slouchy, but not nearly like the other one.
No, but I don't think that nobody's going to come up to you in the grocery store and go, oh my gosh, your mitts do not match.
That's
one
what
is
I'm hoping.
way baggier than the other.
Yeah.
I think you'll be okay.
I hope so.
Yeah.
But I thought it also would be a great way because the color blocking one has, I think, 3 different colors. And the last color happens from your thumb up to here. And so then the chunks are about this wide, like, you know, that measurement wide.
Okay.
It's a scientific thing. I came up
Yes.
with this. But anyway, I think it would be a great way to use some leftover sock yarn.
That's a great idea. I was just thinking that exact same thing. Yeah.
If you had a solid to break up 2 variegateds, you could do that. That'd be a really fun project, and it goes along with my whole not wanting to knit socks for a while and knitting wrist warmers instead. But I think I don't want any. I love the loose fit of this, so that's a good thing. I'm liking that.
Well, good.
I hear my dogs barking now.
That's okay.
All right.
We have dogs. We have children. Sometimes they're going to do things. Like,
Maybe you're not going to hear
and then-
it. Just pretend. Pretend I'm hearing it. I can't pretend. Okay, and the other thing I'm working on, and this is just, you know, the whole moving thing you're going through, trying to, actually we're not moving yet, but still, we're trying to get in the groove for doing it, and you're getting rid of things that you really don't need, and I have a hard time. I already went through my scraps once, you know that, right?
I do, yes. You were very brave.
I was. I felt very brave.
Yeah, you were.
So I ended up pulling it down. I had Isaac get it down off the high shelf, the big bin that has all my scrap yarns.
Yeah.
Most of them use acrylic, or there's some blend of them. There are ones I've used for, a lot of them I've used for amigurumi, or when I did the African flower exchange thing for a while, and different, just various projects. But I would say most of, you know, they're all worsted weight ones, so most of them are some sort of a commercial yarn. And so I decided to pull out some colors that I liked and start in Afghan, and I must have I think I actually have 80 Afghans favorited now.
Oh my goodness. I thought you were going to say that you had 80 Afghans started.
I cast on all of them.
I was like, wow, you really did have startitis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I decided to do, this one is called Circle in a Square, but also it's in Ravelry as like Flowers in the Snow or something. But of course, you know, I'm not going to have snow. I went for gray, but look.
That's very pretty.
This is how far I've gotten. I have tons of flowers done. I spent yesterday trying to get some of them hooked up. But I love this.
That's so pretty.
It is granny, but it is flowers. And so to me, it's a wonderful kind of a homage to the typical granny square. But I love it, and it's all colors. You know, obviously I picked the colors to begin with. But,
yeah.
And you know what? It's like the loaves and fishes. This yarn keeps multiplying. Every time I think this is not going to go very far, but I'm doing 7 squares across. I did purchase the gray, and that's what came in this week. Because I wanted a solid background, but I suppose if you really wanted to, you could vary those. But I've used that wonderful Russian Jolene.
Yeah. And how's it working out for you?
Perfect.
Good.
You know, you can't finish off a square in it because you have that long tail, but along the way I attach those. And I tell you, you can give it a real tug and it does not come apart. And if you've ever had a handmade, like a crocheted Afghan, sometimes when they're pieced like this, you can get parts coming apart. And so the stronger you can attach your pieces, the better. So I love this.
Yay!
And there's probably a million more I want to try now. I signed up for all free crochet Afghan newsletter.
Oh yeah, wow.
They have a lot.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But I thought, you know, even fun to work on them when it's this season because it's, you know, it's a cozy.
It is.
And it's not a very heavy one yet. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't feel like it's going to be oppressive. And I think it'd be adorable just to have it hanging somewhere, not let alone using it. And I decided I wanted to make Afghans kind of like a sock drawer project, but my blankets that I use for cuddling up on the couch are getting really nasty looking. They're just kind of worn and shaggy and really need to go in the bin.
Yeah.
And so...
In the bin?
Yeah. Perhaps we've heard that on English TV. So I'm going to be like Operation Sock Drawer.
Yeah.
Operation Afghan Drawer.
Yeah.
So I hope to have, by the end of winter, have a lovely assortment so that if you have guests, everyone could have their own
How fun.
beautiful Afghan. So
Like to take home or just to use while they're at your house?
to use, that would really be a lot of love to let them take
That
it
way,
home now.
yeah, it would take some very special people
It
to
would.
come over to your house and give them away.
Now,
Blankets.
time for Brienne honesty.
Yeah.
Brienne's not a big fan of a lot of different colors being used together in a typical granny square
True.
thing. Does this still not delight you?
I think that that's a very nice combination. I don't find that...
It doesn't, it's not offensive to you?
No, not at all.
Okay. So you're not the rainbow, put every color in the world in one Afghan, or do you like, just depends on how it's done?
I think it just depends on how it's done. You know, you have a lot of colors that are repeating. It's not like you're using just scraps from everything you've ever knitted or crocheted with, you know.
That'll be a different one.
That will be, yes.
Oh, also, I wanted to mention that the Woolies is what I'm using for this, is the Oxford Grey.
Yeah.
This last week it was on sale on Amazon for $2.99 a skein.
Wow.
And I went back to get some more. They'd already bumped it up $1.
Oh, yeah.
But
they
keep
do
your,
that.
keep your eyes peeled. Here's what I would suggest. This is what I do. Put, of course, this isn't going to surprise you. I've listened to this before on Etsy. My cart has back up to 90 again.
A jillion things in it.
Yeah, but if you, on Amazon, if you put the items in your cart that you're interested in, and you check back from time to time, it'll say, this items in your cart have changed price since you last checked.
Yeah.
And so if you were wanting to pick up, Afghan yarn or something that you're buying in quantity, you could just put it in your cart and check on it from time to time and wait until it goes back down to $2.99.
That's a good idea.
I think.
Very smart. Is that all that you've been knitting on?
No, but that's all we're showing today.
Okay. Well, that works too. So what I am working on right this minute is my featherweight cardigan. I decided to pick that back up again. And hello. Hi. You need to be downstairs. Do you remember?
Oh, Mom, it's just taking too long.
I know. It's really taking too long. Oh my goodness.
When you're 4, 5 minutes is too long.
It's true. It's true. And, he doesn't quite know the difference. You know, he'll be like, Mom, it's taken 68 minutes. And I'm like, that's a lot of minutes. It's only been about 7.
Do you hear Sophie saying it's taking too long also?
Yeah, Sophie is in agreement with Evan.
Hey, Evan, would you let Sophie outside so she can have some fresh air?
That's a good idea.
Thank you.
So this is my featherweight cardigan. I haven't worked on this in a very long time, but I decided that I would knit on it today. So there you go.
Beautiful.
Yes, this is Anzula Breeze, which it has I think it's linen and silk content, which is beautiful. And I am past the arm things here.
It's more atrocious.
Oh my goodness. And going down the bust area. So, you know, I'm not in any rush to get this done. If it gets done soon, then that's great. And if not, then that's okay too.
Yeah.
But
it's so gorgeous. I think that it's coming off more grayed, and who knows if processing it will fix that. But
yeah.
For just in case it doesn't process out to the correct color, it has some what I would maybe call a denim gray or a blue gray in there.
Yeah.
And then the lighter green and the darker green.
Yeah.
So
it's the spruce colorway for anyone who would like to look at it. Spruce.
I don't know that I would think of it as spruce, but it's lovely.
Yes, I really enjoy it. So so that's what I'm working on right now. I also have my purse knitting socks, which I have completed the first one up to the, I haven't done the heel, put in the heel yet, but the first one is done, so yay. And I have cast on the second and completed the cuff on that, so double yay. And
beautiful.
Thank you. I decided to put some time in these this week just because I really enjoy them and I'd like to be able to wear them. So I was here. This is where I was last week or 2 weeks ago, and then I finished all the rest of this. And this is Turtle Made self-striping in the berries colorway, and it's superwash merino and nylon, an 80-20 blend, and her power sock yarn, which is why I'm calling it Power Sock.
Do you know she sent me one of her beautiful Turkish
Did she really?
spindles?
Oh, wonderful!
For me to try out
and to review.
It just arrived.
Yay!
She asked me what color. I said red. Surprise!
Shocking.
So I think it is so super clever.
Yeah.
And a perfect starter. So I'm not going to review it right now, but
okay.
I want to get something spun on it so I can really give it a good test. But I think it's coming at such a perfect time when our giveaway is going to be a spinning thing, and we'll see if we can add to our spinning knowledge with this particular Turkish. So it's going to be super fun to try. So that woman does a lot of things.
She does.
Good for her.
She does. Yay, Jen. Jen, right?
Well, I'm sure her name isn't Turtle.
Well, I'm pretty sure, but yeah.
Well, we'll correct it in the show notes if we're wrong.
Yeah. The other things that I'm working on, it's been kind of crazy. Yesterday we were up in St. Louis at the clinic for Owen's first checkup, and so I brought along my Pagona.
And he did great first checkup,
He did great. Yeah. Yes. Oh, I'm mid-row here, which is always beautiful. But I put on, about an inch or so on my Pagona.
And did that feel like a good one for starting and stopping, since you were having several stops up there? Or did it feel like it was a little bit harder to set down?
No, I'm at a good place in it, and so I didn't need to reference the pattern or anything, so it worked out just fine. I'm really enjoying this. I feel like my knitting time right now is really limited, and so I feel like I'm not making the kind of progress that I'd like to be able to make in things.
Yeah. Do you have a purse knitting? Are your socks your purse knitting, or do you just take a project?
Usually my socks are my purse knitting, but like if I'm going to Pipa's house to go do, be with her or take her to the salon, then I'll usually take a different project with me. But I'm trying to focus more specifically, not like you can tell today, but I'm trying to focus more specifically on either 1 or 2 projects to make some progress on. That way I feel like I have something to show.
Yeah.
And not just I worked, one row on this.
Yeah. I know I have probably 3 more things I didn't bring up that I'll have a little bit of progress, but it felt like that kind of week.
Yeah.
It felt like, I don't know, do your hands ever get kind of tired of doing the same thing?
Sometimes.
And so it was one of those weeks, and especially because I was doing a lot of fiber processing, my hands were achy.
Yeah.
And so I would do for a little while and then change to give them a break and do something different. So that's kind of where I was.
I too felt the need to start something new because I was tired of seeing all my normal stuff. So these are the start of the Miss Wick socks, which Mom actually gifted me this pattern in 2011, and yes, you did. And I very quickly got to knitting it, as you can tell.
Wow. Amazing progress.
Right away. So anyways, I just did, this is the toe. It's, I'm doing these on size 0 needles, and I'm kind of trying to fiddle with finding what my perfect sock is now.
Okay.
And so...
Why? What's changed?
My gauge has changed. My gauge has loosened. So where I usually would have knit socks on a 1, now I'm finding that I really need to use a smaller size needle so that I can, so that I don't get the wear, issues, or some of my socks that I've knitted more recently, I'm finding are wearing out faster.
Oh, really?
Than some of my older socks.
I think Amy from Knitting in Circles was just saying the same thing. She's having to kind of look again at needle sizes and kind of evaluating how to get her socks to fit better now.
Yeah, and I mean, so I thought that by going down a needle size to a size US 0 and going up in stitch count would probably be helpful. So we shall see. I'll let you know how it goes, but yeah.
You're going to end up being like Fat Squirrel on 00 soon, aren't you?
I really hope not, because that just sounds very tedious. Hi, Evan. He's my best friend. When, on days that I'm gone to St. Louis, and then the next day, he's my very, very, very best friend.
Yeah, it's hard to have Mama gone.
That's all that I'm knitting on.
For me.
Why don't you sit right there, and you can do quiet things. Yes.
It's just too hard to wait.
I know it is. I know, but you know what? The more that you interrupt, then the longer that this is going to take.
Facts of life there.
It's true. Would you like to talk about the things that you finished?
I would.
Or would you like for me to go since you're kind of mid-row?
That's all right.
Okay.
It's no big deal. Well, I don't have a lot finished, so I have a flower power.
Oh, yeah.
And what I decided to do, because, gifting this year is going to be modest.
Yes.
Like gift certificate kind of a thing. And I want to have something to give people. And so I'm doing up, I have those ornaments that I have done, the Nomi ones, which I love.
Yes.
I think it's Susan Claudino, right?
I believe so.
If I'm wrong, I'm sorry.
Well, that's what we have show notes for.
Show notes. And so I have some of those. I've done some Bluebird of Happiness. And I'm doing some of these Flower Power. Now, this particular one, I wanted to show, not because you haven't seen it before, but I'm doing an ecru. I cannot find, do you know when the cotton company that was around for a long time in the U.S. went out of business and were bought out by Pigsaw, whatever, or whoever those people are? I'm so informative. I should be on the news.
You should.
Oh my goodness.
I'm very popular.
You are.
I can't help it if people want to speak to me. I am obviously a very popular person.
Obviously.
Yes.
But I love this pattern. And actually, it's a person from our group that made this.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I love her stuff. But the yarn that I used to love using looked very vintage to me. It was an ecru color, but it was not... this is like a cream. I don't know if you can really tell, but you can see how perfect it is. It's almost white. And the old one had flecks of natural in it. And so I cannot find that anywhere. I ordered this on Amazon thinking maybe I'll get lucky, and but I couldn't find it anywhere else. So anyway, and the red used to be deeper than this red. So it's not as vintagey as I would like it to look. But what I did, I amended the pattern, did it exactly as written because her pattern is fabulous. But I went on top of the circle and I did some single crochets around after I knit the whole thing, and I did a single crochet row here, and I did a single crochet row in one from the edge, and then I took, this edge left me with a cream layer and a red layer. And so I just picked up both of those edges and I did a single crochet around the outside. Now I'd like you to feel it, if you don't mind.
Like the top of it? Or
like the edging and how that changes the feel of it.
Yes.
Okay, so it feels like it's very substantial on the edge now. And I thought with the extra little doodads here, which is where your hand would go if you're rubbing down the counter or whatever, this would make it extra absorbent and nice and scrubby. Yeah. And I also wondered if it would lay nice and flat this way. Oh. So I'm experimenting with that. It already lays fairly flat, but I'm always on the quest to get things so that these look adorable stacked in your handheld drawer. Yes. So I have a little pile of flowers and I want to add to mine too, but this is going to be a gift. I'm going to tie a red check ribbon to it. I'd like to also they have the same yarn in black. I would do a black and cream, which is classic country French to me. Yes. Tie it with a black gingham ribbon. But I'll probably do in sets of 3 and tie them together. So yay! That's one thing done.
Wonderful. Well, I finished the 5th Avenue Infinity cowl. Infinity scarf. This did not quite turn out the way that I thought it was going to. In my head, it was going to be a lot thicker, or not thicker, but a lot wider. But as you can see, it kind of tends to want to like roll in on itself. It also grew like crazy.
Which we did talk about that.
Yes.
But it's gone quite a bit more.
It's huge.
That could be a 3 wrap.
I can wrap it 3 to 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
But you know what? Then in that case, you wouldn't want it extra wide and then getting that long. So if you're going to make the pattern again, would you make the pattern again?
No. I think let me try. I want to find what the actual picture of it looked like.
It's like 1 stitch different than the eyelet cowl that I did.
Right.
Mine was done out of a bulky alpaca.
Right.
And mine stayed nice and flat and wide, so I don't know.
So here's a picture of what the designer put up. And so mine is substantially different than that.
Well, and can I show, you can see how it's stretched very thin when it's actually, the weight of it is going to pull it thin like that.
Right.
But look, you see how it can stretch this way, but it doesn't want to stay that way.
It really doesn't. So I don't know if it was a yarn choice problem or if it was, I don't know what.
You would have had to go quite a bit shorter and quite a bit wider, probably more than twice the width, maybe 3 times the width.
Absolutely.
So
and definitely not cast on as many stitches. This is a free pattern. I don't know. I probably wouldn't make it again, just because I don't feel the need to.
Well, and then I would recommend, if you like the look of the diagonal eyelets, that you would try the one that I did. I think I showed it a week or 2 ago.
Yeah.
And that one actually stays very nicely. I tried it. I tried wearing it. It wears beautifully.
Yeah.
And it is not, that was one I thought you could even cast on a few more stitches and make it longer, because it actually kind of stands up and is like right about in here. So
yeah. Well, this was a free pattern, so I don't.
Mine was too.
You know, it wasn't a big deal. And then I used, the yarn I used was Studio June yarn in a squishy soft worsted, which I do. This was very nice to work with.
Soft.
It is very soft.
Do you know what I'm emulating somebody right now. I'm wondering if you can guess. Guess?
No, I can't.
Tanya did a podcast. The Sampler Girl.
Oh, yeah.
Did a podcast with her mother, and they are adorable.
Oh, really?
You have to watch.
I'll have to go.
It's on
Get that
YouTube.
on, please.
And I tell you, by the time the thing was done, Tanya must have had every piece of knitwear they were showing
Oh, that is
on
so
her
funny.
body. She was hilarious.
How funny is that?
And their house is so cute.
Yay.
Well, it's her mom's house. She had a bright red wall. I think we're meant to be best friends with them. Pretty sure. They live in Virginia, I think. It might make it a little hard to get together for coffee.
That's true.
I love them.
Good.
You have to go on YouTube and look up the Sampler Girl, that cute little Tanya and her mom. Oh my goodness, they were adorable.
They were adorable.
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 Yeah. She's totally mocking her mother while her mother's talking.
I am.
That's
Whilst my mother is talking.
That's exactly what they did. They are our kindred spirits, as Anna Green Gables would say.
And Shirley.
Yeah.
Yes. I also have one other finished
You do?
object.
Let me see.
Do you remember my cedar leaf shawlette?
Yes. You did not.
I did. I unraveled it.
No. Everybody else
took it apart.
Everybody else disagreed with me and said you should. So.
It didn't. It didn't take that long to undo. That's the sad thing.
How sad.
This is 3 Irish Girls, Glenhaven Merino. I think it's a merino cashmere blend. But look at how gorgeous that green is. It is so pretty, and it makes my heart so super happy.
That's really translating well on the screen, if that's a correct version of it. It's just so lush.
Yes. So now I have it unraveled into 5 balls, but I actually have it's actually 3 skeins of yarn.
Are you gonna redo it?
I don't know. I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna end up doing with it.
Why don't you do Sarayan?
That's a good idea.
I mean, it's in the same vein.
It's basically the same thing.
And I loved mine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I keep saying to reknit it.
Yeah. Well, we shall see. I'm not entirely sure.
You're not feeling it.
I'm not feeling pressure to get started with it yet. So,
okay.
Yeah. Let's move on to spinning.
Yes, spinning. All right. So I have been, I don't know if any of you are like this, but I need to have things fairly neat in certain areas of my life.
Yes.
And my husband for sure.
He's like Mr. Clean with hair. And he doesn't have an earring.
He doesn't have the earring, no. But you know, the thing is that I've got all these luscious fleeces that I have collected that need to be processed. You know, when I went to the alpaca ranch, of course, back when this first started, I came home with a big hefty bag full of fleece and then one on the side. And that's not even including a few that I had stashed to work on in smaller. I keep them in the big jumbo hefty bags. Mm-hmm. But the hefty bag I brought home from Liz's was hefty bag. And I'm like, I do not want to have that stashed behind my couch. I stashed it behind my couch.
Shh, don't tell anyone though.
And so I was like, I've got to get this processed and no one can use it and I don't want to take over. I don't want to carry raw fleece to the next place. I don't know where I'm even going to be.
Right.
And, you know, how easy it will be for me to set up something. And so I spent the weekend combing fiber, and I wanted to show the proud results of one of them. This is just one of 5 bags I have like this, the stuff that's done now. I'm ready to spin. And what you have to see here, this is called Rose Gray. Isn't it gorgeous?
That is beautiful.
Yeah. And it is, you have to touch.
Okay.
Because
that's very soft.
yes, super soft. And this is one, you know, of course, when I'm working with this one, what I thought to myself is I have got to get in touch with Liz.
Yeah.
And I have to find out if she can reserve a rose gray for me this year, because I thought a sweater sort. This won't be a sweater.
No.
That's not going to make up into a sweater, but this is so gorgeous, and this is going to be now, trying to think. I got as far as they're in like little buns. I had some leftovers on the top that I put up there. There's little spinning buns. So this is actually ready to spin.
Oh, great.
So I love this, but I have 4 bags of this done, and I just have drying downstairs the rest of it. Now what I did, I wanted to give people an update because they were with me when I first came home with this stuff.
Yeah.
Let me quit rattling things maybe so you can actually hear me. Oh, I also spun this. This is the CVM.
Yeah.
Changing subjects drastically as I often do.
Squirrel.
This is the CVM. This is almost 500 yards.
Yes.
I don't know what we say. Worsted?
Mm-hmm.
I'd say worsted. 500 yards. I love it.
Yeah.
But, so I'm making good progress. You know, this is, the other bags I have are the rest of this. So by the time I'm done, I think I'll have 1,000 yards at least.
Oh my goodness.
And I could always, edge something with just plain black if I need more yardage. But anyway, I have that. But what I want to do is to go over how you can process fiber on a budget.
Okay.
Okay. There are tools I really would love that would make my job so much easier.
Sure.
One is a picker.
Yes.
It's a big old scary thing with nails in it, sharpened tines, and it pulls the fiber apart. Basically, you want to get it open, and you want to let all of the VM, which stands for vegetable matter, to fall out. And I don't have one of those.
No.
And I would like an electric drum carder because my shoulder bothers me.
Yes.
And doing this with my little drum carder, that is this wide, literally.
Is that the Louette?
The Louette Junior. It's a drum that is this wide.
And it really is a junior size.
It is. It works, but I even had Isaac helping me. He was turning it for me, but he doesn't have the patience to sit there.
Yeah.
And a lot of this fiber would need to go through several times
Yeah.
to really be beautiful, workable fiber.
Mm-hmm.
And so, using the tools I have, I decided one of the things I have to do, because I cannot spend as much time on the drum carder because of my shoulder,
Right.
is I have to get more VM out before I wash.
Sure. That makes sense.
What I did the last time I processed was I just took it out, and if I saw something grotesquely full of VM, I would just toss it. Because there are times when they live outdoors in a farm, they're happy scampering in the field, alpacas. So, now the last fiber I was doing was not from Whirlwind Ranch, so I don't want you to think that she has really VM fiber.
Disgusting fiber.
She doesn't. She has great fiber.
Yeah.
But, even of her excellent fiber, they live out in the field. They get hay and different things in their coats. You have to get it out. So, first tool you need,
Tell me.
cat brush from the dollar store. Okay? Now, these tines mimic a drum carder tine. Okay? And this was very cheap. And basically what you're going to do is I spent all weekend with a towel in my lap to catch all the junk coming out. And you locate a lock. And a lock is just like, say it was growing here. And this is the part that was near the outside. This has already been brushed and washed and everything, so it doesn't have anything in it. But the cut part that they cut next to their skin down here, you're just going to want to grab a hold of it, the lock, and you're going to give it a twist to really hang on to it, okay? And then you're going to have on your lap your towel and your little brushy thing. Now, some people will use a fancy flicker, and they'll spin right from these, but that was not what I did. So you're going to do this, and you're going to brush out all of the junk. You're going to get some little second cuts in the bristles. And what you're going to find, what I found is by doing this, I had a fiber that was much easier to put on the drum carder.
Oh, good.
What happens is garbage in, garbage out.
Right.
If you don't get rid of the garbage, it gets incorporated in your fiber, and you spin it.
Right.
And you have to pick it out as you go. And sometimes it doesn't get picked out. And many people have probably tried fibers that had VM left in them, and that was just because they didn't get them out to begin with. Now, if it doesn't bother you, don't worry about it. Just go ahead and process it with the stuff in there and handle it as you go. But depending on how full of VM something is, it could be really a distasteful spin.
Sure, absolutely.
So I went through all the fiber. If it had just a little bit, I went ahead and just stuck it in. I didn't brush everything. I only brushed it if I thought that it had enough in there that it was a problem. Or if, because it had been sitting a while, if the tips were a little bit stuck together.
Sure.
You know, which can happen sometimes. So, dollar brush, first thing. Second thing, you want to get Original Dawn.
Okay.
The dish detergent.
The blue kind.
The blue kind.
Yes.
And Original is the one that people always advise. You want to use it it is a wetting agent, which means it makes your water wetter.
Well, say that 10 times fast.
Helps your fiber get wet easier and really get the water in there. And so what I did was, after I brushed all the VM out, this is another dollar store purchase, okay? This is just a dish, what do you call this?
Like a dishpan kind of
Dish
thing?
pan, yeah. And so as I was brushing out the fiber, I would put the fiber that I brushed in here. And once it was full, then I stopped, okay? Nice and full. And the reason why I did that was because this is about what will fit in one of those big jumbo hefty bags that I use for storage. And so I let it soak overnight with the water and a little bit of the dish soap. And just let it try and get out as much dirt that way as I can. Okay?
Yes.
And you're just going to keep washing and rinsing until you get fairly clean water. Now, I did not wait till it got crystal clean. I let it it's just a little bit cloudy. Just because I know it's all going to get spun and get a good washing again anyway. And I did not want to handle it any further for fear of alpaca is a fiber you need to be gentle with.
Yes.
And so I didn't want to overhandle it and end up having felted fiber. So the next purchase that you need, that for a do-it-yourself on a budget for processing fiber, is a salad spinner.
Wasn't there like a salad spinner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's probably some infomercial about it, right?
I'm recalling it as we speak.
Yeah. I ended up getting one from Amazon. My dollar store did not carry a salad spinner, but it's certainly something you could look for in garage sales and things like that. And what I like to do then is this is used obviously for spinning out your fiber. You can also use it for any yarn, your socks. If you hand wash socks, you can spin out the excess moisture and everything will dry faster.
Sure.
And there is actually a portable spinner to get water out of stuff that you can get on Amazon. That's just a machine all on its own and it's electric. And I've heard Jinx Fiber, what is her name? Jinx Fiber, adorable lady. She does fantastic dyeing. We got some yarn from her.
We did. I was trying to figure out if there was a card or something. I can't find it.
Well, anyway, adorable girl, Laura.
Hi, Laura.
Laura from Jinx Fiber. And she has that electric model that she got on Amazon. I've seen it there. And so, like, if you do a lot of wool washing, if you, that would be a handy thing to have, unless you just want to use your own washer. But
Sure.
Sometimes it's just you don't wash your wools in the same area where your laundry room is. I don't. No. So anyway, this is handy. So then, after I've let it soak a few times in that other bin, when I'm trying to rinse the dirty water out, I stick this part in my sink. Okay. I pour the dish bucket full of dirty water and fleece in here so that the hair doesn't go down the drain, because we don't want to have our drains full of the hair.
No.
So this obviously is a colander, and it works very well as a colander. And so I used this to make my job much easier. I didn't discover that until later on in the process, after I'd already done a whole bunch of fiber. I discovered it just recently.
Yeah.
And I was like, what was I thinking? This is a colander.
Yeah.
So this will make your job a lot easier. And then I would do a little bit of rinsing. I don't let the water just hit the fiber. I let the water coming out of the faucet hit my hand first and gently try and get it incorporated through. So, this is very handy. It also, once the fiber had really gotten wetted down good in the bigger bucket, it fit in here just fine.
Okay.
That much fiber from the dish bucket
That's amazing.
fits in here. So then I could use this as my soaking bowl. Some of you are in areas where you have water rationing, water issues, and so this is a much smaller amount of water. And you don't have to use your sink so your sink is available to use for other things. So,
Sure.
so then once it's fully wetted, it fits in here and it can be rinsed in here.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the final time, when it's finally clear enough for me, this is in the sink by itself, and I'm just gently pushing down on it to get out as much water as I can, and then it goes into the spin cycle, and I keep spinning until I don't have very much water coming out.
Mm-hmm.
So a fantastic invention, but my caution, I think people know this.
Yeah.
But really, it's not a good idea to mix your tools. If something is a fiber tool, keep it as a fiber tool. Don't try and do your salad in it.
That's
Pretty
true.
sure your family does not want to get alpaca hair in their salad.
No, definitely not. That'd be good.
Yeah, so those are some very easy to get at tools. What I have right now, I have a drying rack that I got on Amazon. I use it for drying fiber when I spin. When I have a lot of things to dry, when I dry my socks on it.
Mm-hmm.
And right now I have a towel stretched over on it, and I've got 2 fans blowing on 3 big dish pans full of fiber that I washed this morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I have one waiting that needs to be actually brushed out. So I put them all in a small area and get one fan blowing one way, one fan blowing the other way, and it dries fairly fast that way. And it doesn't injure the fiber at all.
Well, that's good.
I know some people do it outside and stuff, but I don't do that because I'm just too worried about getting a big gust of wind and losing it all.
Yeah,
or whatever.
that would be discouraging.
But there are more more fancy setups, but that is a very economical start to trying your hand at processing fiber.
Yeah.
And so then you can certainly, if you want to, get a second dog brush and use them like hand cards if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
But I probably I'd still just use the one, hold on to the lock, give it a quick flick, and then spin from the lock if you don't have a drum carder.
Mm-hmm.
So you wouldn't have to necessarily purchase any more tools.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's my exciting,
Almost.
really, even if you think, like, no one wants to go buy fancy tools if you think that you're not going to like doing something.
Right.
And so this much fiber started out actually by the time I got rid of the stuff that was the seconds and the stuff that's the little bits. If you don't brush it good at some point in the process, you're going to end up with neps and things in your wool that makes it bumpy yarn, rustic yarn. And so this should be a really smooth spin because it's been nicely combed.
Yes.
But it's that much fiber isn't a big deal. It's not going to cost very much. If you go on Facebook, go to the raw fiber group, you might even find something like that for $25 or $30, and you can have the experience. The tools are going to be probably under $40 for sure.
Yeah.
Less if you're flea market finding them. And for a very reasonable amount, you can try out fiber processing and see if it's for you.
Yes.
And the one last thing I want to say about the fiber part is that alpaca does not have grease. So it does not, you can do everything cold water. You do not have to worry about that. If you do any other kind, like the CVM, it had
Lanolin.
in it. And what I did the first time I washed it, back probably a year and a half ago, it seemed fine at the time, but over time I realized it had lanolin left in it, in the fiber.
Yeah.
And so what I ended up doing, I didn't wash it. I spun it in the grease, as they say. Not a lot of grease, it just had some. I spun it in the grease, and then I washed it really good like I would the fiber with Power Scour, which is unicorn fiber wash, and nice hot water. And you don't want to change temperature drastically or do a lot of agitation, but it melts the lanolin off. And so that even puffed up more. It was a thinner yarn in the lanolin, in the grease.
Yeah.
And it puffed up more once the lanolin was out of it. So that's an option if you process it and you decide, I didn't get all the lanolin out. You could still spin in the grease, which was very in the 70s, I hear.
Yeah.
Still get your processing done, and those are all lessons learned. How hot does it need to be and all that. I find it very relaxing.
Well, good.
Not if you're in a rush. It's not in a rush kind of thing, but I do find it relaxing.
Well, good. Yay.
That was a very long one. Sorry.
That's okay. No, it's good. I like it when you do your DIY things. let's talk about, did you gild the lily this week?
Lots of Woolies yarn for $2.99 a skein.
All right, you go handle that, and I will talk about other things. Yes.
Talk about other things. I shall
right.
return.
Hold on, just 1 second. No, Evan. No.
Mom, now can I start my knitting?
Nope, not yet. Shall we talk about gilding the lily?
Let's do it.
Okay, Mom, why don't you go first?
Well, I did my Oxford Grey Woolies yarn for the
Yes.
Afghan, but I don't need to show you that. But I got something from the beautiful Laura from Jinx Yarn.
Wonderful.
Yes, it was a happy accident, right?
It really was a happy accident.
Do you want to explain how I have my lovely ornament yarn? I'll show them while you tell.
Well, Mom told me about the house cup yarn that she was dyeing, and I was super excited about it because hello, Harry Potter. And so I set my alarm to remind me about the update, and Mom had told me about the yarn that she had wanted, and I accidentally started to buy her yarn first, and I thought I canceled it, but apparently not. And then I went and bought my house cup yarn, so I was really confused when I got 2 confirmation emails from Etsy. I was like, that must be a glitch or something.
Laura and I were conspiring
I guess so.
to make sure I got this.
And then I got 2 shipping confirmations, and I was like, well, something's got to be wrong here. And so I came up to Mom and I was like, so by any chance, would you like some yarn?
And I said, yes, I would. Yeah, this is beautiful. This is her ornaments, self-striping yarn, 3 stripes of each of the colors, and I loved it and I also wanted to try and get the one she had from last year, which was beautiful too. But anyway, I think it should be fun. I don't know if these are going to be mitts or socks.
Oh, it's hard to tell.
It is hard to tell, but it'll be something lovely. She actually has a really, she is, if you don't know Laura from Jinx Yarn or watch her podcast, which I do, she has dyed her hair this beautiful teal color.
That's so gorgeous.
Yeah, and she can pull it off.
Yeah. I love teal. I don't know that I can pull that off though.
Yeah, she's gorgeous. Anyway, 400 yards of her self-striping sock colors. There's red, 3 rows of each. Now I'm going to read the colors because I know you want to know. Red, green, gold, dark blue, red, green, light blue, silver.
And this is the house cup colorway, and it basically just has each of the 2 colors from the 4 houses in Hogwarts. So they have 3 rows of blue, and then bronze, and then green, and then light gray to represent the silver, and then yellow and black, and deep red and golden yellow. So hooray! And you know what?
So you can be a fan of all of the houses. You don't have to decide which one
Exactly.
you want to be.
Yes, I'm going to try to catch a crow gunk.
Okay.
Evolve into dark gunk.
Give me 5.
I'm going to
Alright.
try to
You
evolve
go do it.
Go for it.
So here's why I'm super excited about this. Can I tell you why?
Yeah.
Because do you remember my Hufflepuff socks from one of the first episodes?
I remember.
I cannot find one of them.
What?
I went to go wash my
Didn't you
socks.
just wear them recently?
I did. I washed them. I went to go wash them, and I was like, where is the second one? When I went to go put them up to dry. I have no clue where they are.
No.
I have looked. So these, though they will not replace the Hufflepuff socks, these are at least proclaiming my love of Harry Potter.
I thought it was a fun idea, and actually, it's gorgeous. She had a sample knitted up, and it was quite lovely. So even if you're not a fan of Harry Potter, it's a lovely yarn.
And you know, just seeing it dyed up didn't sell me until you showed me the picture of it where she had knitted it up.
And I've never tried any of her things. I've watched her podcast forever. Forever since I've been watching podcasts for like a year.
That's right. It's been practically forever.
Totally.
And so I got that, and then I got this. Evan, please turn the volume down.
That's
Thank
beautiful.
you so much. This is Kim Dye's yarn, and this is her 2-ply superwash merino fingering. It is 490 yards, which is impressive. And Evan, quiet. We're talking.
One of those days.
It'll be okay. And this is her Craig Nadoon. Yes.
Now, tell
colorway.
me, how did you find her? Because this is gorgeous.
Okay.
Just show them a different color here.
Yes,
Would you talk and I'll show?
Okay, so I wanted some Outlander themed yarn, and had found some, but nothing that I was, really incredibly happy with, or that I was able to have access to. And I found this, and I think that is so gorgeous.
It
so
is.
This is
Gorgeous.
Now I get to have some Outlander themed socks. I'm so super excited about that.
This would make a lovely scarf too, don't you think?
It really would.
Mm-hmm. Good job, Kim.
Yes. And so I'm very happy with this. So thank you so much for letting me purchase this from you. And this actually, I had a gift card from Heather for my birthday. So this was...
Hey, if you don't know, not every shop on Etsy takes them, but you can have people give you Etsy gift cards for holidays, and then you can bank it and just use it willy-nilly whenever you want.
That's right.
So, well, yeah, it's fun stuff.
Now, the last thing that we had a contest.
I was so excited. This was the best ever participation.
I know! I was so super thrilled. So we had 109 entries into our little giveaway. It's not really a contest. We don't really make you work too hard for it, but
didn't we love all the entries too?
I did.
Totally agree with all of them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we had 109 entries. Actually, there were 110 posts, but mine was the first one, and that doesn't count. So between 2 and 109, the random number generator picked number 68. And that is Buzzboy. So congratulations to Dennis. A man won it. Yes. So we're super thrilled for you. We're very, very happy that you were able to win. Dennis, I'm going to contact you on Ravelry, so be looking for my PM. That way I can get your price in off soon, because I know you are looking forward to this.
I really think it'd be great if we got to see something he spins.
Yeah, absolutely. So just to remind you of what you're winning, you are winning the fiber from Eternity Ranch. Very beautiful.
It is lovely.
This is, I can't remember. I think it's woolen bamboo.
I think it's something like that. It's lovely, whatever it is. Oh, he's getting pink fiber. He's going to have to spin for...
He'll spin for somebody. Or
yeah.
maybe Dennis loves pink. I don't know.
You know what? I had a nephew who loved pink.
Yes.
So
we don't know Dennis.
We don't know Dennis. What happened here?
Did something happen?
There we go.
Okay.
Just need to be snuffed up.
Also, you are getting this beautiful supported spindle and the
from
book
France.
From France. Apparently, we are all about France today and England. And the Respect the Spindle book. So Dennis, congratulations. Make sure that you respond to me soon, because I'd like to get these shipped out in the next couple of days.
Yes, and it is a gently used book.
It is.
So it has even a dog ear. You know, I'm going to leave a dog ear there so you can see what I wanted to go back and look at.
That's right. It's very important. Well,
and we're going to do another contest. I like to keep them going. We haven't discussed it, so I think maybe next time we should come up with something.
Well, it's already November.
Oh my goodness.
So why don't we say, how about, tell us about if you have any family traditions for Thanksgiving.
That would be nice.
Yeah, we want to hear it.
And if you don't have a Thanksgiving tradition, you could put something you're thankful for.
I like that one better.
Do you?
I do. Forget what I said.
No, do both.
Okay.
Because what if we have a really great tradition that we want to steal?
Do one or both.
Pick one or both.
Pick. We're not choosy. We're not all uptight about that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea.
Okay.
And we'll come up with some fantastic prizes.
Yes. We'll let you know next week what our prizes are. Or we'll let you know, you know what? I'll put up the thread and I'll put the prizes in there. That way people can see.
That's a good idea.
All right. Do we have anything else?
You know, we do have, I got to go to the centennial of this charming church that is in Bradleyville. It is the church where my son, Jared, your brother, his darling fiance attends. And they were celebrating 100 years.
Wow.
And so I got to be there for the celebration, and it was a wonderful, music-filled event. And I had so much fun. I thought I'd do some little highlights for you. They had goats there. I got to play with goats.
Yeah.
And lots of fun things. And I'm going to tell one story that I will include in the postcard from the Ozarks too. But the most fun story I heard, they had pictures of every pastor who has been at that church. Mm-hmm. It's called General Baptist. And the first pastor who came had to travel quite a ways on a mule or a horse or something across water and stuff, and that's how he got there to preach, but he was really diligent to do it. And sometimes when he would cross the water and it would be, storming out and stuff, they would have to chip him out of his saddle because he'd be frozen to his saddle.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
That's dedication.
That is dedication. Mm-hmm. So wonderful people, so warm and welcoming, and it was a fantastic time and such a great celebration of fall, and it's on the edge of the Mark Twain National Forest.
Oh, very cool.
And so it was scenery I had never seen before. It was fabulous. So you get to come along with me for a few little photos and musical interlude that was all part of that day.
What about, do you have any interpretive dance?
I don't think I do, but do you?
I do. Because we forgot to kind of do this, but it's a good thing. We're thrilled to say we have another iTunes review, this time from Mimi Just Dance, which I think is totally appropriate.
Mimi Just Dance? What?
Because I feel like I've got another dance coming on, people.
Do you?
Oh, yes.
Wait, let me start.
Yeah.
And hit it. Oh, yeah.
Hit it. Hit it.
Mm-hmm. There you
Hit
go. So we have now 23 iTunes reviews.
Do we really?
Yeah, 23. Wow. Thank you, Evan.
That was a thing of beauty.
Thank you. Well, so there you go.
What a great way to end the podcast.
It was.
I really like it when it's the closing thing. Can you please keep leaving reviews, because I love ending with a dance.
Oh, Brian was looking at our iTunes reviews.
Oh, yeah?
And he goes, why do people keep talking about your dancing? What, do you dance or something? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, okay. So he was just, I don't know if he was like a little bit scandalized or like, I don't know what he thinks I'm dancing like. But it was so funny.
I think a tutu might have to do a picture at some point. You know, the ones that people run in? Yeah. I may be making a tutu for a dance.
Oh, goodness sakes. Wow. That would be special.
It would be special.
Well, speaking of special, we sure think that you guys are special. We're so glad that you were here today. Thanks for joining us for this episode, and we just hope that you guys enjoyed it, and sorry about all the craziness.
It was crazy.
It's real life, people.
Real life.
This is real life going on as we podcast.
Oh, wait, let's have Eddie. Eddie, come over and say goodbye to everybody.
Bye.
Wait, come over here.
Do you want to get in the picture?
He's been wanting to get in it the whole time. So let's let Evan say goodbye to everybody. Now, you know what? How about this?
What?
Can you say, bye, y'all?
Hit it.
All right.
Okay, let's say it all together. You are knitworthy. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
You are
knitworthy. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye, all. What does knitworthy mean?
Knitworthy means that they are special and wonderful, and that we love them, and that they are worthy of getting fun knitted things.
That's right.
Mommy,
Yes?
can I start my knitting?
Yes, we will go downstairs and start some knitting.
Can I start my knitting?
Bye, y'all.
Bye, you